welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday night. I am so excited to be here with you tonight, to be chatting with you. Tonight we're going to talk about 5 weight loss mistakes, boo-boos, owies, like things that stall your weight loss, things that are like, that don't get you to your goal that we are going to remove starting tonight. And so welcome back to the channel. My name is Carmen, and I'm a former morbidly obese chick who I guess it was 8 years ago, decided to do something about that. Wound up losing 161 pounds in 13 months. And we talk about those things here on the channel. And so tonight we're going to talk about, today I'm a coach. I coach people in business and weight loss. I'm a success coach, and I'm really passionate about seeing people cross over from failing to succeeding in this area of weight. And so tonight we're going to be discussing the top 5 things that I see mistakes when it comes to people in their weight loss and losing weight. So before we jump in, make sure to smash the like button, that little thumbs up. Make sure to smash the like button. Leave me a comment. And if you like free tips, if you like good, healthy recipes, if you like hearing from inspiring people, make sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of our uploads here on the channel. We have all kinds of good stuff coming at you. At least I think it's good. Our clients think it's good. I get messages from people around the world telling me it's good. So, we all need to be inspired. And so, I don't know. I just think that if more of us were helping to inspire and improve this world, we'd be living in a much better place. And so this is me doing my part to, help. And hopefully tonight's content will help you on your weight loss journey. Whether this is your first time here or you've been back several times, welcome to the channel. So number 1 mistake that I see people making when it comes to their weight loss journey is they're not eating enough food, okay? And I know for a lot of people, this sounds like, wait, what? They're not eating enough food. And yes, so that's not how we get fluffy, okay? So let me just distinguish between the two. I used to think that as a fluffy person, because I would skip meals and then eat all the food. So there was a point in time when I was overweight that I thought that I was overweight because I didn't eat enough food. That's not the case. That's not science. That's not how it works. But at some point when people decide to start losing weight, they go have a couple different patterns. They'll either binge and then starve themselves. So they'll eat a whole bunch and then they won't eat anything. Or they'll eat the cookies and then they'll punish themselves by not eating anything. So it ends up being this cycle to feel guilty of eating. And most of us that have come from a weight issue, we have these unhealthy relationships and these unhealthy habits when it comes to food. And so what I'm going to tell you is you should never, ever, ever be eating under 1,200 calories when it comes to losing weight. If you start, that's the floor on which I would healthily tell you to eat, is nothing under 1,200 calories. I ate between 1,200 and 1,500 calories the entire time I lost all my weight, which I lost 161 pounds in 13 months. That's just over a year. I never ate under that during that. Now, prior to that, in the decade of weight loss failure, I remember doing the HCG diet where they told you to eat 500 calories and you basically starve yourself and you had to inject yourself with this stuff, whatever. I lost 50 pounds, but as soon as I stopped doing it, I gained it all back. I can remember being in high school, actually. My mom would drop me off at the fair and I would be, cruising around the fair in our little small town. Actually, it was the town. Our town was so small, we didn't have a fair. We had to drive to the next door town to get to the fair. And I can remember going to that fair and I would be trying to look all cute. And I'm like, I'm just not going to, I can remember as a high schooler having this thing of, I'm just not going to eat. Well, that didn't last very long because I wouldn't eat. And then I would eventually convince myself that I was starving and then I would go eat all the food, right? And so what I'm going to tell you is it's not about, you can't starve yourself to your goal weight. You're not going to starve yourself to the body you want. That body has to be built. That body has to be made. That body has to be formed. And the only way you're going to get there is by feeding it healthy food, actually feeding your body the food that it's going to take. And so eating 12 to 1500 calories. Don't eat less than that. And there's several different ways you can do that. You can do that through simply calorie counting, or you can do that through macronutrient counting. But at some point, you got to track your calories. You got to know what's going in your mouth. I know there's all those people that say, I don't have to track anything. Good. Let me know how that works 10 years from now. Let me know how that works. And so anyway, all right, number 2, when it comes to weight loss mistakes that I see people make, is cutting out food groups. Cutting out food groups. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Listen, healthy weight loss is all about having a balanced diet. So carbs, protein, fat, balance, sugar. Oh, Carmen, did you just say sugar? Yeah, I did. Listen, I'm a former morbidly obese chick. I loved, still love, it tastes freaking good, sugar, carbs, pizza, bacon double cheeseburger, elephant ears at the fair. We were just talking about the fair. Blizzards, freaking Culver's, bacon double cheeseburger with onion rings in a concrete mixer. Like, I love those things. I didn't stop eating them just because I decided to lose weight. I learned how to eat them in balance. I didn't cut out hot tamales. I didn't cut out peanut M&Ms. I didn't cut out Snickers bars just because I decided to lose weight. Okay? I went from a size 22 to a size 2 when I still eat my favorite foods. I just do it a little differently. I don't eat it every day all the time. I have balance in my life. We don't wind up overweight because of what we do some of the time. We wind up there because of what we do most of the time. And so however you lose the weight is how you're going to have to maintain it. I hope you heard that. However you lose the weight is how you're going to have to maintain it. So if you lose the weight by cutting out all carbs, well, are you going to cut out carbs for the rest of your life? I mean, that's cool if that's your decision and you just hate carbs, but I just don't, whatever. I don't think it's not the way I choose to personally live. And so you don't have to cut out food groups. You don't have to cut out sugar. There's a way to actually have those things. There's a way to have those things and still lose weight. There's a way to have those things without having an unhealthy relationship with them. And so don't cut out food groups. It's about having a balanced diet, not no carbs, no sugars, no fat, no protein. It's balance. And that's how you're actually going to become a healthy version of yourself. And that's how you're actually going to maintain what you lose instead of yo-yoing, instead of going down, back up, riding the weight loss roller coaster. All right, number 3, the all or nothing mentality. The all or nothing mentality. Carmen, I'm all in. Come on, who's been there with me? I'm cutting out sugar. I'm cutting out carbs. I'm going to work out 3 hours a day. And then you do it for a week, and then all of a sudden you're like, F this, I'm done. I need a life. Give me all the sugar. And then you don't work out for 6 months. And you go hog wild and gain the 5 pounds you lost plus another 10. You go find all those pounds plus they bring some friends with them, right? And so it's not about all or nothing. It's about finding a weight loss program that you can not only use to lose the weight, but that you can use for the rest of your life. This is what I do not like about diet culture or a diet mindset or fad diets. I lived in that world for over a decade. And the way the diet culture, the diet mindset works is I'm going to do this activity until I get to this result. And when I do this activity to get to this result, as soon as I get there, we stop doing the activity. Well, as soon as we stop doing the activity, we stop getting the results because we stopped doing the activity that got the results. And so it's not about all or nothing. Even with your workouts, move your body 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week. Eat a balanced diet. Don't starve yourself. Don't cut things out. It's not when you do make a mistake and you eat the cookie because you're a human being and you're not perfect. It doesn't mean that you have to go eat all the cookies. It's not all or nothing. It's not no cookies or all the cookies. have a cookie. Eat a cookie. Not no cookies or all the cookies. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It's not no cheesecake or all the cheesecake. That is a 5-year-old relationship with food. I can remember there was a guy that I knew that was losing weight the same time I was. And I lost 161 pounds. He lost like 164 pounds. And I can remember we were talking about like cheats and treats and rewards. And he was like, nope, I can't. I just cut it all out. And I can't have any cookies because if I have one cookie, I have all the cookies. And I remember saying to him, okay, well, how do you think that's, and he lost a bunch of weight. He looked amazing. I said, how do you think that's going to work long term? Like, are you really not going to have cookies for the rest of your life? Like, that's okay if you're not, but like, is that the plan? And he was like, oh yeah, like I'm not, no cookies forever. Okay, great. I said, well, that's not my plan. I mean, I'm going to have the cookies, just not every day. I've maintained my size. He put all his weight back on, plus some. He gained back over 160 pounds, plus some, with this all or nothing mindset. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It just needs to be balanced. Are you hearing me? And you know what I hate about diet culture is diet culture almost, oh, you can't have sugar, it's bad. You can't have diet soda, it's bad. You can't have a Chips Ahoy cookie. You can't have a Reese's peanut butter cup. Oh, fast food, no, bad. Listen, I'm not saying fast food's good for you. I'm not saying white sugar is good for you. I'm not saying that soda, pop, whatever you call it is good. Coca-Cola is good for you. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is balance. 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 It doesn't have to be all or nothing. There can be a middle ground that I found. See, when I did all or nothing, it never worked. It would either be like literally nothing, and then I'd go all, and then it would be nothing, and then I would go all. It wasn't until, and then I could never maintain my results. I could never maintain the weight I lost. It wasn't until I found this middle ground where I actually succeeded in losing the weight and keeping it off, okay? All right, number 4. One of the biggest weight loss mistakes I see people make, guesstimating. So you're going to have to track your food if you want to lose weight. Like, you know, the way you lose weight is by being in a calorie deficit. You have to be in a calorie. It takes like 3,500 calories is 1 pound. So if you're in a deficit for the week of 3,500 calories, you're going to lose 1 pound. If you're in a deficit of 7,000 calories a week, you're going to lose 2 pounds, right? So the bigger the deficit you're in, the more calories you're burning, the less you're eating, the more you're going to lose, okay? And by the way, this is the slippery slope people get on with number 1, eating too little. They start losing weight, and then they think, well, I'm just going to cut out this, and I'm going to cut out that, and I'm going to lose weight faster. And then they wind up in this 800 calorie range, jacking up their metabolism, getting unhealthy habits, not fueling their body, and they're not going to do that forever. So they lose the weight and then they gain it back, right? And so guesstimating and not tracking, it's actually tracking what you're eating. 99.9% of the time when I have a client who's not losing weight, because, you know, I'm not saying you're going to lose weight every day, but when you are doing the right things, the scale should be trending down. It's kind of like in business. If you're doing all the right things in business to build your business, the bank account should be trending up. You know, the sales should be trending up. Same thing with the scale. If you're doing all the right things to lose weight, it should be trending down. You know, it's just, the scale is a tool that helps us track, helps us see if what we're doing is working. It doesn't define you. You don't wrap your worth in it. It doesn't, you know, it just helps you track and tells you if what you're doing is working. And so most of the time what people will do is they will guess, like I have this little container right here, and this holds a cup of vegetables, okay? This container right here holds a cup of fruit. And so like even my kids, I've taught to measure, if fruit is a serving, measure it out. Don't just dump it in. Listen, if you are overweight, you have overweight eyeballs. If you're morbidly obese, you have morbidly obese eyeballs. If you're obese, you have obese eyeballs. If you're overweight, you have overweight eyeballs, which means our eyeballs see things through our reality. Well, I had morbidly obese eyeballs. My eyeballs told me a serving of cheese was 4 servings according to the package. My morbidly obese eyeballs told me 1 serving of brownie according to my eyeballs was 6 servings according to the back of their package. I can remember the first time I weighed out a piece of brownie for a serving. It was like as big as a quarter. I was like, nah, my scale must be broken. You have to be crapping me. This is not a freaking serving. Same thing with cheese. I could not believe. I started tracking what I was eating and I'm like, no wonder. Gosh, I can't believe I'm not almost 500 pounds. How much I was overeating. So don't guesstimate. Actually measure out your foods. Measure out your water. It's not, I think I drank about a gallon. No, track it. Are you drinking a gallon or are you not? There's no in between. There's not, I think I ate I think that was a serving. No, did you measure it? Did you weigh it? And listen, if you have come from like overweight land and you've been fluffy and you've struggled with this, I get that this whole thing of measuring and having to track it can be daunting. It can seem not sexy. It can seem not very fun and spontaneous. And you're right. Like there's no way I'm going to tell you measuring out a cup of fruit is sexy. It's fun. No, it's not. But you get used to it. And you know what is sexy and you know what is fun? Going shopping in any store you want. Putting on that gold bikini, putting on that dress to go on date night, walking around in a cute t-shirt and jeans and tennis shoes, and you look cute, not frumpy. That is fun, and that is sexy. And I will freaking measure my fruit all day long to have that fun, because that is way more fun than, this is no big deal when it comes to that fun. Like I can measure my fruit. I want to look cute, okay? And so you pick your hard. Pick your hard. Something's always got to suck, all right? All right. Number 5, our final last point on 5 weight loss mistakes is not trying to do it alone. Trying to do it alone. Not having a support system, not having a coach. And, I did all of these. I sucked at weight loss for more than a decade. I failed at it. I tried over and over and over again and still wound up coming up short every single time. Even in the times I would lose weight, I would always go gain it back. So I had lost weight before, but I never maintained it. I always wound back up at where I was or heavier. And after a decade of doing this, after a decade of saying, I know how to lose weight, after a decade of saying, I don't need any help, I don't need a coach. I don't need a support system. I don't need somebody to tell me what to do. Just move more, eat less. Like, hello, we've all heard that before. But the truth is, how do we know what we know? And I got challenged with this concept actually through a business trainer. And it was the concept of how do we know what we know? Because there's a difference between knowing and hearing. Hearing means I've heard it before. I've heard someone say it. Knowing, how do you know if you know something? You know if you know something if somebody can look at your life and see the proof of it or the fruit of it in your life. So if I'm morbidly obese, it sounds so funny coming out of my mouth now, but you gotta know back then I fully thought I knew how to lose weight and nobody was gonna convince me then any different, right? But when I looked at this and I'm like, okay, Carmen, you're morbidly obese. You've been trying to lose weight for a decade. You're still morbidly obese. So you've heard how to lose weight, but you don't know jack squat. I remember having that conversation with myself and it was kind of a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, but it was like, it was the truth, right? And sometimes we need the truth to come smack us upside of the head. But you don't have to do it by yourself. When you try, sure, there's people out there that do it by themselves, but it is so much harder on yourself when you do it by yourself. And it doesn't, there's this thing in our heads that says, oh, if I get a coach or I get help or I need a support system, somehow that makes me weak. That somehow if I can do it on my own, it makes me strong, it makes me smart. No, it doesn't. It takes wisdom to know, to put yourself in a position to succeed. It takes humility to be able to hire a coach and say, help me, teach me, show me. I want to be one of your success stories. I want to be one of those before and afters where when someone sees it, they go, nuh-uh, that's got to be photoshopped. Because that's what happens. Where 2 or more are gathered, Two are stronger than one. When two heads come together, it is more powerful than one person out there on an island by themselves. And here's what I know. Here's what I know about me, and here's what I know most likely about you. How many of you know that you will do more for somebody else than you will do for yourself? How many of you, one of the reasons that you're in the position you're in right now with your weight is because you're out there doing so much for other people that you haven't made the time to do for yourself? Anybody? How many of you will quit on yourself before you'll quit on somebody else? You'll quit on yourself. You'll give up. You'll sacrifice what you need, what you want for what someone else needs and what someone else wants. But when you have a coach and you have a team, when you have a support system, that even on the days that you want to quit, see, wanting to quit doesn't make you bad. It makes you human, because we all at some point want to quit. But when you have a coach or a support system that even on the days you want to quit, they refuse to give up. They refuse to give in. Somebody that can see in you what you're capable of. Somebody that'll, good job when you've done a good job, and somebody that'll call you on the carpet when you're not doing a good job, when you get off track, when you start to stray, when those old habits start to come back up, when frustration sets in. You know, right now we're in the middle of season 4 of The Biggest Transformation. And many of them have already, and if you haven't seen any of those episodes, it airs every Wednesday. Season 4 is amazing. It's our first cast of all women. And, so many of them have already admitted, if it wasn't for this group, I already would have been out of here. Like, I would have been long gone. We had one of the cast members a couple weeks ago. She was like, man, I was trying to write out how I could get out of here, but I'm so glad I'm in here. But why? Without that support cast, without a coach, without a support system, without a group of people doing it with her, she would have been out. She would have been long gone. She would have been gained all the way back that she lost and onto another fad diet, stuck in fluffy land. And so don't make the mistake of setting yourself up to fail. Don't make the mistake of thinking you have to do it by yourself. There's wisdom in hiring somebody to come alongside of you. There's wisdom in putting yourself into a community of other people going in the same direction. And so if you don't have a community, I'm going to leave a link down in the description box for our next group. You can fill that out. I'll get you some information. We'll see if it's a good fit. We're also going to have season applications are going to be opening in a couple weeks. Well, a little bit more than a couple weeks, but in a couple months for season 5 of The Biggest Transformation. So if you want to be, that's our highest accountability. It's a commitment. But anyway, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Get a group, get a coach, get a support system. When you have a support, listen, over 70% of the world out there is overweight and doesn't want to be. And so if you're just flocking with your regular old friends, with your regular old people who are going out and whooping it up and eating all the cheese and all the pizza and all the things, it's only a matter of time before you're going to be right back to those same habits. We have to make sure we're putting ourselves in a position, flocking, hanging out with other people that are going in the same direction that we're going. And so those are my top 5 weight loss mistakes that I see people making every week without fail. Without fail, every week I see someone making these mistakes all the time, all the freaking time. And they're all simple to change. Most of the time, it's just realizing that you're making them. And so thank you so much for watching. Before you leave, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our uploads, our healthy recipes, our interviews, our inspirational tips, all the things. And we will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, with another episode of The Biggest Transformation. So make sure to check that out. And we will see you on the next one.